one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it, because you can.
Hey guys, this story comes to us from the Associated Press, where two special prosecutors said that they plan to charge a former Central Kansas police chief with obstruction of justice over his conduct following a police raid last year on a local weekly newspaper. Remember that one? Prosecutors Mark Bennett and Barry Wilkerson concluded in their 124-page report that the staff at the Marion County Record committed no crimes before former Marion Police Chief Gideon Cody led a raid on its offices and the home of its publisher, the old woman. Remember that?
Cameras inside recorded video of the raid in her living room.
Don't you touch any of that stuff.
You can hear the anger from 98-year-old Joanne Meyer.
This is my house.
As law enforcement raids her home.
As you could tell, she doesn't put up with much.
Bernie Rhodes, an attorney representing the Marion County Record, says none of this ever should have happened.
Get him out of here.
They said police warrants signed by a judge to allow the searches contained inaccurate information from an inadequate investigation, and that the searches were not legally justified. Now, police body camera footage of the 2023 raid on publisher Eric Meyer's home shows his 98-year-old mother, Joan Meyer, visibly upset and telling officers, "Get out of my house." Now, she co-owned the paper, lived with her son, and tragically died of a heart attack the next afternoon. Prosecutors found no evidence that officers believed they were posing a risk to Mrs. Meyer's life, but they allege Cody obstructed an official judicial process in the weeks after the raid.
If they only would have listened to her and left her house, we wouldn't be in the problem we have now. And by the way, Joanne Meyer may still be alive today if they would have listened to her and just got out of her house.
I don't want you in my house.
Meyer died one day after the raid.
To know that less than 24 hours she died as a result of this, it's heartbreaking.
The Marion County coroner's report says she died of sudden cardiac arrest.
Get out of my way. I want to see what they're doing.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to connect the overwhelming stress of this illegal raid to a cardiac arrest less than 24 hours later.
He resigned as police chief last October, and it wasn't clear whether officials planned to charge him with a felony or a misdemeanor, and either is possible. The criminal complaint had not been filed as of this past Monday. Quote, "Small town familiarity explains but does not excuse the inadequate investigation that gave rise to the search warrant applications in this matter," according to the prosecutors. That's a quote from the prosecutors. Bennett is the district attorney in Sedgwick County, home to the state's largest city of Wichita, and Wilkerson is the chief prosecutor in Riley County in northeastern Kansas. Now, the state's attorney general appointed them after the Marion County prosecutor, who faced questions himself about the search warrants, said he had conflict because he lives there, I guess. The raid sparked a national debate about press and freedom, focused on Marion, a town of about 1,900 people set among rolling prairie hills about 150 miles southwest of Kansas City, Missouri. Seth Stern, director of the Freedom of the Press Foundation, said in a statement that Cody should face other charges in addition to obstruction of justice. He said the raid itself was criminal, and Cody is far from the only one at fault here. Meyer said in an interview that he's grateful prosecutors found that the newspaper staff committed no crimes, though he questioned why it took them a full year. But because the attorney general had to appoint someone, because the other prosecutor, he didn't want to touch it. But he also expressed frustration that Cody is the only official expected to face criminal prosecution. He said, quote, "What I feel is going on here is that he's been set up as the fall guy," end quote. The newspaper's parent company, Meyer and 3 current or former staffers, have filed federal lawsuits against the city of Marion and current and former local officials, including Cody. A voicemail seeking comment was left at a cell phone number believed to belong to former Chief Cody. It wasn't clear who might represent him in the potential criminal case, and his attorneys in multiple federal lawsuits over the raid did not return a telephone message. Of course not. They're not going to call you back. The search warrants authorizing the police raid accused Meyer and reporter Phyllis Zorn of identity theft and other computer crimes over their accessing the driving record of a local business owner who was seeking a liquor license. Zorn verified the record through a state database available online. Freedom of information. The prosecutor said Cody appeared to think incorrectly that Zorn had to impersonate the business owner to get access. The business owner gave police a written statement 2 days before the raid, but prosecutors said 2 pages of it were absent from material turned over to their investigators in September of 2023. Absent, missing. The prosecutor's report also referenced text messages between Cody and the business owner after the raid. The business owner has said that Cody asked her to delete text messages between them, fearing people could get the wrong idea about their relationship, which she said was professional and platonic. Hey, delete those messages. That raid, you know. But this is a big one here on freedom of information, freedom of the press, you know, especially for a lot of people who do First Amendment auditing and cop watching. When you go and you pull these records or you go to these court websites and pull off the information, you know, I do it too. I go to court websites and I pull information off, and how many people are going to say, hey, how'd you get that information? Well, it's public. Anybody can get it. Just have to have the right, you know, information, and legally you can obtain that. You know, hey, you make your bed, you have to sleep in it. You butter your bread, you have to eat it. And this Chief Cody, I don't know, it sounds like he may be eating a mouthful.